Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I am here today, shock horror, to pull some cards and share some guidance for Saturday, Sunday and Monday. That's the 6th, the 7th and the 8th of July 2024. So while you're coming over, I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons for July, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So I'm coming to you live from a very, very frosty and cold central Tasmania, and it is Saturday the 6th of July and the time is 9:05 a.m. So if you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my oracle cards here that I created. There are two decks combined. We have the Animal Kingdom oracle cards with the ladybug, and we have the Speed of Light oracle cards with the starry background. So I have two decks that I've joined together to make 110 cards, and I'll be using this combined deck to find the best cards that the majority of us need for Saturday, Sunday and Monday. I'm not pulling cards for individuals, so this is general guidance for everyone, and I trust that you've been led here for a reason. What that reason is will be up to you to determine. So I trust that I'm here, and hopefully the cards will, I trust in my cards, so I trust the best cards will find their way to the top of the deck based on the way I choose my cards. And then I'm doing my best to interpret those cards as best as I can, trusting my intuition. And then what you cherry pick from that resonates and speaks to you and supports you at this time is your business. That's your stuff. And that will hopefully be what you need. So take on board what does feel right, what does resonate, and what does fit into your life and fits into what you've got going on. And let the rest go. And let's see what happens. So think of this as a guide only. And I like to approach these things with an element of surprise. Because surprise is an element of surprise, let's just be surprised and see what happens, suggests to me that there's no expectations. And expectations do tend to block the flow of energy, I find. And any time that disappointment comes in, then I know if I'm feeling disappointed that I've had an expectation attached to whatever it was. So the opposite of expectations to me is surprise. Let's allow ourselves to be surprised and let's see what happens. Good morning, Sam. Welcome. And Shauna is here. Oh, yes, we need some heat down here. Defrost things. Good morning, Misty. But it is beautiful. The days are beautiful. It's just this is our 6th day in a row of having about -4 overnight. And the ice is just growing. So like on day 1, I had a little bit of ice on my bird bath. Day 2, the ice gets a bit thicker. Last night when we were out trying to unfreeze our water pipes, which are internal, and figure out where the freeze was, my bird bath was now just ice, a big ice ball. So it's quite interesting. But we've got a few more days of icy mornings yet. So it's exciting, actually. And it makes me want to stay inside where it's warm. Although the ice can be fun under the feet for a short period of time. So, welcome. I'm looking for the best card now for Saturday, the 6th of July. Saturday, the 6th of July, the best card that the majority of us need for Saturday, the 6th of July, is this. It's an Animal Kingdom oracle card. Robin, hi. Angela, hello. This is the cockatoo, which is funny because I just put a cockatoo post up on my ceramics Facebook page, which is my artist Facebook page at Leanne Peters. And I just put up a silhouette of a cockatoo, and this is our cockatoo card, card 47. It says be compromising. And also there's a feeling with this card to find a compromise. There might be a compromise that needs to be found, and it might be easy to be found. Some compromises happen easily, especially if two people or two parties are on the same sort of page and they have a similar sort of vision. Then a compromise can be very easy to find and negotiate, if you like. In fact, it can feel quite natural, and really there's no force in this compromise. It's sort of smooth and it just seems to fit right in, like two pieces of a puzzle just fit together, and it just feels like the timing's right. So there is this sense of compromise that's around. We might find if there's an energy or an aspect of our life that is in the opposite of feeling like there's a compromise reached, maybe it's in conflict, then maybe it might be worth us thinking about, is there something we can back off with? Is there something we can compromise on to help find a common ground in some sort of conflict? That's if we want to and need to resolve the conflict. Sometimes we just need to detach to and step back, and that might be the compromise we need to find, especially if our relationship with someone who's perhaps quite negative and quite hurtful is pulling us down, and we've tried different ways and this person's just trying to make our life a living hell. Then our compromise might be that we need to detach from that person. So there are interesting dynamics across the board at the moment in regards to our relationships with other people. There can be this smooth sailing, fit right in, compromise easy found, a common vision, a common goal, all the way down to this sort of sabotage, really strange, very hurtful energy too. So where does compromise fit in for us? How are our relationships with other people in general at the moment, and what's loudest for us that's getting our attention? Might it be helpful for us to try and compromise in this situation to find a common ground, or do we need to step back? And what is the flow of that? Where is there conflict as well, the sort of opposite of compromise? Sort of, but it might be something to look at as well. So how are your relationships? And this is all sorts of relationships too, not necessarily our most intimate relationship, although that could be the case. But we've got relationships going on that we're managing with all sorts of people all the time. Also, this card brings a social element potentially to Saturday. So there might be some social element that's applicable for some of us. And this card, the cockatoos, they're vocal. They're vocal. They don't really hold back. So there might be something too that we need to say, or some sort of communication that's highlighted on Saturday. So that's our cockatoo for Saturday, the 6th of July. So that's that. Thank you. Good morning, Renee. Hello. Mary Ann's here too, and Darlene from New York. Welcome. Welcome to you all. Okay, let's find now the best card for Sunday, the 7th of July. So on Sunday, that's tomorrow my time, my tickets open for the Temple of Balance 20th birthday events. So we've got art projects, we've got Vision Quest, we've got Spirit Guide drawing workshop, healing, big healing workshop as well, or healing event. So there's a whole month of events coming up every weekend in February. They open tomorrow. That's for our 20th birthday. Very exciting. And it's Annette's birthday today. Happy birthday. So Sunday the 7th of July, the best card for the majority of us is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle, and it's a featured card. We have the Medicine Pouch. It has further instructions here which say to fan out the deck and choose another card. So I'm just fanning, and we'll grab this card here. It's an Animal Kingdom. Oh, we have the Stag. Okay, so we've got these two cards have come up together for a reason for Sunday. We're going to look at them separately first, and then we'll look at their relationship together. So we have the Medicine Pouch, card 54. It says resources, gather, knowledge, and collect. This has been popping up maybe most weeks lately, and it's the gathering card, it's the savings card. It talks about resources. So the first resource that comes to mind typically with this card would be financial resources. And so this card tends to highlight our need to perhaps look at, or we might have a need to anyway, is to save and collect our resources, especially our financial resources. It doesn't have to be just limited to the financial side though, although that can be a big part of this card and this energy. We can also look at other sorts of resources. So it could be primary resources that we're gathering, like to build something or to create something. It could also be skills that we're gathering. So skills or experience. Usually experience takes time. So I would say this would be, and skill development takes time too. But it feels perhaps more leaning towards the skill development rather than the experience development, which happens over time anyway. If we've got a little bit of wisdom, I guess, then that experience should gather and collect and be gained over time. And maybe that's something that we are noticing at the moment, is our experience gathered and gained. But I think also the skills side of things. So if we're thinking about developing our skills, especially to advance things like our career, or increase our pay, if we've been doing some type of job and then we have an opportunity to advance our skills so we can move to a higher paid sort of job or aspect of that workplace, then that would definitely be connected to with this card, because it's certainly the resources of financial is very closely tied here. So this is a time of collecting and gathering. It's a time to look at our budget as well. Look at where we can save our pennies, and especially perhaps look at what we're saving our finances or our money for. What are we saving for? Are we saving for our retirement? Are we saving for a project? Are we saving so that we can buy a house? Are we saving so that we can move to a better area? What are we gathering our resources for? And if you're wanting to gather your resources but you don't really have any spare, then it might be a great time too on Sunday to look at our budget and look at where we can tighten things up. Where are we spending unnecessarily, and can we put those few dollars, sometimes it doesn't have to be a lot, can we put those few dollars away into a savings account? So it's a great time to really look at our savings and collecting and gathering our resources so that we can use them in the future and so they can empower us. This is probably especially appropriate for those of us, or those of you, because I don't really live this way, but if you're living paycheck to paycheck, and the disempowerment, the powerlessness that sort of brings up, because I've certainly lived like that, and I've chosen and I've worked really hard to get to this point where I fortunately do not have to do that, but I certainly spent a lot of my life living that way. Is there a way that you can get your power back with your finances, get things back into check, and maybe look at your budget and tighten some things up if you need to? So that's the medicine pouch, and it comes up with the stag card 42, and it says new direction. This is a new path that's opening up for us at this time, especially on Sunday. So we've been encouraged to trust our instincts as we move forward or find the path that we need to take. And it kind of feels like we are finding the path that we need to take, because once we find it, then we can step onto it and move along that path. It sort of feels like the stag is sort of standing on its, wherever it stands in the forest, and it sort of feels like its antlers feel like a radar, and it's just sort of scanning around and sensing the next best step to take, the next best path to take moving forward, and especially in regards to new beginnings or a new start. And so with these for our new start, maybe we're saving our pennies for that next beginning or that new thing that we want to bring forward, especially so saving our pennies for the next thing, and especially if it's something that can potentially advance or improve or increase our income. So like developing a new skill or learning a new skill that can potentially put us up to a better, higher paying job, that can then bring more resources in. So that might be something too that we're quite seriously considering on Sunday. So that's that for Sunday. Yes, I think I had a dropout. I don't know if it's still working. Anyway, I'm here, I think. So thank you. Okay, so now let's look for the best card for Monday, the 8th of July. And the best card for Monday, the 8th of July, for the majority of us is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle. And it's the Eagle's Nest again. And it's card 14. And it says preparation, home, waiting, and soon. So this talks about or highlights potential changes in the home. It also tells us that we're waiting for something. So we're waiting perhaps for a date, we're waiting for news, we're waiting for information, we're waiting for the green light to turn on, we're waiting to get this done so we can do this, that kind of thing. So there's a period of waiting, this card shows, but it talks about our time of waiting will be over soon. We're not always going to be waiting, although it can feel like we are at the time. Waiting tends to be temporary. So sometimes it's good, I find it helpful anyway, to remind myself if I'm getting a bit impatient because I'm waiting longer than I would hope to be waiting for. I need to be patient because it's just temporary. So waiting time is temporary time. It's not always going to feel like this and be like this, because soon we'll have the news, soon we'll have the information, soon the green light will turn on, or soon the red light will turn on, and then we'll know what our next course of action will be. So while we're waiting, we're being encouraged through this card to prepare ourselves. So how do we prepare ourselves? Well, it depends what it is that we're waiting for. Maybe some of our preparation might be to, if we're preparing to move house, is to start packing. Start sorting things out and get a bit of a head start if we know we're going to be moving soon. And we've got a little bit of time up our sleeves and we're running up and down the walls because we're waiting. Let's start packing. You know, what can we do to prepare ourselves for what's coming up, just to help make it a bit easier and also help give us that sort of lead in time to whatever it is that's coming up. So that's our card for Monday. Very interesting. Okay, so thanks everyone. I am going to pull a theme card in just a moment. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. Please hit the follow button if you're watching on Facebook. And please hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining me. So I've got quite a few things coming up or happening at the moment. First of all, there is a big sale because they don't happen. Maybe they happen once or twice a year. I've got a sale on my spirit guide drawings and my healing art services this month. So if you're interested in connecting with your spirit guide, which is basically connecting deeper with yourself, then I suggest you have a look on my website if you're interested. And also the healing art. So the healing art, what is that? If you're familiar with my healing energy cards, it's like I create a personal healing piece or like a healing energy card just for you. So I tune in and I create a piece of artwork around what I'm feeling and what's loudest in your energy. One of the interesting things with these drawings is they can last for like a decade. So I say like a decade because I don't know much longer than that, but potentially longer too. But you can get many years of connection and support through your drawing. And it's quite a visual thing. So if you're a visual person and you like a visual connection, something to look at, something to visually connect with and feel, then it might be something to explore further. But you can find that on my website, the healing art or the spirit guide drawings. I've been offering both services for about 20 years since I started Temple of Balance. So they're on my website now, templeofbalance.com.au. Also, like I said before, my Temple of Balance 20th birthday in February. Tickets open for that tomorrow in about 24 hours. 24 hours and 30 minutes to be precise. So if you're interested, please keep an eye out for that. And also my classes are coming up next week. So my card reading club happens on Thursday, and my art class, we're connecting with the heart chakra, is happening on Friday. You're very welcome to join in if you'd like to connect further with yourself, with your cards, or connect further with your creativity and the beautiful members and the beautiful group that's been created. It is a great, great space. So if you're interested, please have a look on my website. If you want to learn more about my cards and the work I do here, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Your support, I'm very, very grateful for, and your support is needed to help me to be able to keep being here. So if you get something out of my video and you haven't supported for a while, or if you've never supported my work, then please consider buying something on my website to support me to be able to keep doing what I'm doing here. So thank you very much. All right, let's look for the best theme card. The theme card will help us bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So the best theme card for the majority of us for the 6th, 7th and 8th of July 2024 is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle, and it's this. It's Healed, card 34, and it says golden light wounds, blocks and dissolve. This highlights the physical body foremost for some of us, but that's the thing I want to talk about first, is the physical body healing. So if you're feeling under the weather, or you're dealing with something, some injury, some illness, something that your body is fighting, let's say, then this brings healing energy through for the weekend, for these next 3 days. So this is a great time to support our body, look after our body, keep our body warm if it's cold, keep our body cool if it's hot, I guess. Keep our body nourished and healthy as best as possible. Is what we're consuming healthy and supportive for us? Do we feel good after we consume it, or do we feel bloated and like we overate, or too much sugar and we've got a headache? So how is our body responding to what we're consuming is probably something to be aware of too over these next few days. So physical body healing, if we're feeling, if our physical body needs that. Now also on a more energetic level, this is suggesting that it's quite favourable over the next few days to explore our energetic healing. So I would call that like a self-healing. So this would be an opportunity to look at the things that are holding us back, to look at the perhaps the triggers or the issues that we have, to look at our insecurities or our fear that's been popping up lately. I find that things just tend to come up when things are loud and they sort of come to the surface. Like I don't think I've ever found that I've had to go digging deep to find an issue if I don't have something playing out now. So if things are travelling quite well, I don't need to go and look for some problem. Things are going well, I just be grateful for that, and then at some point something's going to stir up, something's going to trigger, and that's the opportunity for me to then look at that and release it. So what's coming up for you at the moment? What have you been ignoring? What have you been avoiding? What's been stirred up? What's been triggered? What's an issue that's arising for you? And how can you perhaps look further at that, look deeper at it, but also look at how you can release the issues around that as well. And I don't know I think it's like separating the wheat from the chaff. So when we've got an issue or we've got some situation from the past, I like to look for the lesson in that. What has that taught me about myself? How has that helped me be a better person? Maybe it's by seeing that, hey, I don't want to be a person like that. So that's quite the gift that I separate out and I take on board and I carry with me in life. And then all the other stuff, the personal stuff or the attack that I might have felt or whatever it was, I've got to try and let that go. So I feel like separating the wheat from the chaff or separating it out, the issue out, take on board the lesson, let go of the hurt, so that I can free myself of those burdens and that baggage and lighten myself energetically. So that's the type of thing that some of us may want to and may just be inclined to look at over these next couple of days. It can suggest that things are stirred, things are triggered, things may be confronting, things may be difficult as things come to the surface. And they come to the surface so we can heal them and let them go. And ultimately, at least in my perspective, I feel it's so I can improve myself. I want to improve myself. I want to be a better person than I was yesterday and than I was a year ago. So I'm always trying to better and improve myself. I try not to compare myself to others because we're all different. We have different characters and personality, different interests, different beliefs, different morals too in some instances. So we're all different in that regard. I need to try and be a better person than I was yesterday. And tomorrow I want to try and be a better person than I was today. So I need to try and heal and release my baggage and issues so I don't carry them into my relationships and I don't carry them into my life as heavy burdens that then infect everything, because it ripples out into everything. So if I want to improve myself, I need to look honestly at my past. I need to look honestly at my issues, carry the lesson, release the rest, and keep moving forward in life. So it's a great opportunity for healing, supporting the body, for letting go, for looking after ourselves as well. You know, some self-care. Self-care is important. I do feel in general it tends to be a bit overrated in society these days. So I don't really bring self-care up that much, as you probably noticed, because I think, and what I've observed, there's a lot of people tipping that into self-obsession and like rotating everything around themselves. There's a very selfish element in self-care at the moment. So I think it's really important, at least for me and for me, is to practice self-care in a loving way that's not tipping towards a selfishness and putting everyone else aside in general. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Have a great weekend and next few days, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Take care of yourself and sending you lots of love. Bye.